jump into the video, I just wanted to quickly announce last week's giveaway winner. And that's right, guys, if your bell notification is not turned on or you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you go ahead and do so you can get the opportunity to join these giveaways. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all's love and support. Shout out to my man who won this new WAHL high vis. We will be shipping it out to you. But yeah, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all's love and support. So we appreciate all that so much. We're blessed to be in a position to give back. So thank y'all so much, guys. And my man, we will be contacting you very, very soon to get your information, and we will ship this right out to you, man. Again, shout outs to you, man. Congratulations. And let's jump into this tutorial. What's going on, Faded Culture? I'm Adrian and Barron, and we're back with another tutorial. Today, I'm gonna run y'all down the steps on how I did this burst fade, and Lex is gonna run y'all down on the steps on how she achieved this color. I hope y'all enjoy this tutorial. I hope y'all enjoy this tutorial, and let's jump right into it. Show me your All right, just like every single time a client walks in with long hair like this, you're gonna wanna go ahead and debulk. So right here, I got my number 2 guard and lever fully open. And as you approach the end of the fade, make sure that you are ramping straight up and out from the head. A common mistake I see with debulking is people debulking a little too low and still having to come back and debulk after they're already setting in the fade. With time, that'll definitely get better. So just put your reps in and make sure they're intentional. Here I'm moving on, starting with a profile section. Grabbing my 6-inch shear, which you can grab at fadedculture.com. It does come with a set. It comes with the actual cutting shear and a thinning shear. So starting with my profile section, I'm gonna go ahead and remove some length. Every time I grab a piece of the new section, I hold on to a piece of the prior section to use as my guide and just work my way forward. Once I'm done with that profile section, I comb it all to one side. In this case, I combed it to the right side, and now I'm grabbing horizontal sections. And as you can see, I pick up a piece of that profile section, which is now used as a guide horizontally, and now just work my way forward. And the way you're gonna keep a consistent length on top is making sure that your sections are consistent within themselves. So notice every time I'm pulling a horizontal section, it's about as wide as my actual comb. Grabbing each single section, just working my way forward. And then from here, what I like to do is comb that whole profile section now to the left side of his head. And then continue that process. Here you can see my guide and just work my way forward in horizontal sections. Ensure that the tension that you're holding the hair with is super firm. And now we're gonna work my way back. Grabbing another profile section in the back. And then notice how I used my guide from the top and just worked my way back. And now I'm grabbing vertical sections, bringing them back to the previous section and using that as my guide. Anything under the occipital, I like to come underhand. It's a lot more comfortable. If you haven't tried, I'd suggest you do. Now doing the same thing, now grabbing another vertical section, using the previous section as a guide. And like I mentioned, under the occipital, I pull from under. Now I'm gonna go ahead and continue by blow drying the hair. You cannot cut wet hair. I don't know if you've tried, but I don't suggest that you do. So blow dry the hair and let's get into our actual clipper work. Here I'm starting, because I did debulk with the 2 guard, I'm able to just come in with no guard, lever fully closed as my initial line. This is why I highly suggest that you debulk, guys. It's super important. It's just easier to work with. It's a lot cleaner to see your guidelines, and it's just an easier process. I went in after lever closed with my lever open. Notice my lever is gonna stay open. All that's gonna change is the guards. So I went from my 1 guard now to a 1.5 guard and just continuing the process. I do come up about a finger's width But I don't like to think in terms of fingers width. I like to just think of creating space. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. Fingers width is just a rule of thumb. Alright, and lastly, we're gonna finish connecting the sides to the top with clipper over comb. If you're super new to clipper over comb and you're very nervous, we do have a video on that, so I suggest that you watch that for some tips and tricks on how to approach clipper over comb. By now you should have 2 guidelines. We're gonna start with that top one and work our way down, using my half guard at 3/4 position, utilizing mainly the corners and being very easy with the pressure of my clipper. You should be able to remove that line. Lastly, we got our initial line, and I like to work in sections at a time with this one because this last line is tedious. So I'm starting with my lever closed, then I go halfway or 3/4, and then finally fully open. And those 3 same lever positions I'm going to continue now on the back side of the head, but again breaking down this last line into sections. One thing to keep in mind is if you feel that the lever position is not cutting when you need it to, and it's not basically taking out the line when you need it to, and you find yourself either stretching the skin a lot or even applying a lot more pressure, all you need to do is adjust the lever. If you find yourself stretching that skin a lot or applying a lot of pressure, you're doing something wrong. The clipper should be doing the work. Now we're gonna move on with our WAHL detailer, creating those temple arches, and then going into the fade, removing the bottom hair of what's left, and then we're gonna follow that up with our electric shaver. Some people have asked why I like to shave at the very end. Personally, I feel like it just helps keep the fade where we need it to. So if you haven't tried, highly suggest you try it. And it's that same fading process, just in reverse for the facial hair. Shout outs to the cameraman for capturing my faded culture hat, which you can find all our products, merch, tools at fadedculture.com. Guys, we appreciate all the support. And you're gonna repeat that same process on the other side, and you should be good. If you're not aware, we do have a mentorship program, which you can find in the link down below. It's under a platform called School, but basically we have a lot of in-depth tutorials on there, and then we go over the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars being marketing, technical skill, personal development, and finances. These 4 pillars are crucial for your success as a barber. That's something that we teach on our online mentorship. You do get 7 days for free. You have nothing to lose, so feel free to check it out, guys. And I have to mention also on there, you could submit all your haircuts, and my brother and I will go on there and give you live video feedback on your haircuts. That way it just, your process of learning is a lot faster. And finally, for the top length, we're gonna go ahead and point cut it, adding some deep texture. And I do the same thing, just grabbing horizontal sections, adding texture to it. Pretty much done with the fade as a whole. Always asking your client what they want to do with their facial hair, their eyebrows. Make sure that you trim off any excess ear hair, nose hair, any of those areas. Make sure that you're taking care of them. Always going above and beyond. And even after the facial hair, once you line it up, make sure that you step back and freehand any frizz. Following that up with my electric shaver as well. Now loading my faded culture razor blade. This is the slide razor that I will be utilizing. Now grabbing some shave gel, make sure that you are lubricating the skin prior to shaving. And this is the only time that you should be pulling the skin, when you're doing your razor work, and make sure that you're always pulling from behind the actual razor. Notice where my hand is, it's always behind the razor, and my shave strokes are basically away from my hand. A common mistake I've seen is they're shaving towards their hand and they're putting the tension at the bottom of the blade, shaving towards their hand. You're gonna run the risk of the blade jumping and slicing your finger off, slicing your hand off. Then it's gonna, because these blades are so sharp, it's gonna go through your hand, go through your body, and then it's gonna go through the guy that's cutting next to you, and before you know it, like you're gonna cut the whole barbershop. So just be careful. Basically done with the fade, the beard, and now it's Lexi's turn to come in and show you how she does the color.
What's up, guys? It's Lexi. You can find me on Instagram at LexiDenise. Let's get started with this color. We're gonna start by sectioning the hair straight down the middle. Since his hair is still kind of short, I just clipped it off to make it easier. Then you're gonna get conditioner and put conditioner on the side that you're not bleaching, just to keep the hair sectioned good and keep the bleach from bleeding onto the other side. Then you can follow that section straight down the back. To keep your sections clean, use your pointer finger on the opposite hand to push the comb, and you can use your thumb below the comb as a guide. Once we get the conditioner all over that side, then you can go ahead and put the foil on it. We're gonna be flipping the bleached hair onto this foil so the conditioner helps to hold it in place. Then we're gonna pull out our bleach and developer. Since his hair is dark, I'm gonna use 30 volume. And we're gonna mix equal parts. If you don't have an eye for this yet, you can use a scale and just make sure it's 1 part bleach, 1 part developer. Should be a lotion-like texture when it's mixed. And then we're gonna go ahead and start applying that on the opposite side, making sure everything is very saturated. I start by going over the top layer, and then I go in small sections and flip it over to make sure I get the back side saturated. We are going all the way to the root with this one. When you're first learning how to bleach hair, it is a little bit tricky to get it all saturated. That's why we're gonna go in small sections. Sometimes it looks like it's very saturated, and then once you flip it, the other side is completely dry. So just double check all your work. Also, sometimes with bleach, you'll notice that it still has a powdery texture to it. If you see clumps in your bleach or it feels super chalky, then go ahead and add a little bit more developer. When we get to this back section, it is a little bit harder to section just because the hair is so short at the bottom. Just go in as small of sections as you can. Make sure your brush is super saturated. Once we get to the sides, the hair is short enough that you don't really have to section it. Just make sure that you're taking the bleach all the way down to the stubble. You don't have to go over it where you went over with the foil shaver, but at least to the 0. You do want to make sure you get it on that part good because the stubble is a lot harder to pick up the bleach. Then we're going to cover all the hair with foil. This helps speed up the process because bleach develops with heat. Then we got to have a little dance break, of course. You're going to let the bleach process for about 40 minutes, and then you can pull off all the foils and go ahead and shampoo the hair. You don't have to do a conditioner just yet because the color that we're about to do is gonna stick better without conditioner in the hair. Make sure you scrub all the way to the scalp and get the bleach off of the scalp so that you don't irritate it. Then go ahead and get a golden plaque. Then we're gonna start drying the hair just to get it prepped for the color, and then pick out what color you want to use and start mixing it in the bowl. Make sure whenever you're blow drying the hair that you don't have it on full heat. You don't want to irritate the scalp more after the bleach. Since we wanted a really vibrant green, I could not find the lime green that I wanted, so I got yellow and blue, and I'm mixing my own. I did add a little bit of this other green just to give it more of a neon tint. Then we're gonna apply this directly onto all the blonde hair. Again, you don't have to section out on the sides, but once you get to the longer hair, you do want to section it out and make sure that it's evenly saturated. With vibrant colors, you can usually tell when applying it if it is saturated good. Whatever color it goes on as is typically the color it's gonna wash out as. I mix it up a little bit with brands for vibrant colors, but Pravana makes a really good vibrant brand. It's called Pravana Chroma Silk Vivids. Once you get this color applied all the way, I'm gonna put a processing cap on it just to speed it up a little bit. Let that sit for about 30 minutes and then you can rinse it out. You do want to rinse with cold water.
Alright guys, y'all better be nice about her voice because she actually did take a shot and rip the hell out of her pin just to do this voiceover. But we're gonna finish off this tutorial with adding a little bit of Faded Culture matte clay. Make sure that you really emulsify that into your hands and spread the product evenly throughout the hair. And you're pretty much done, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. I hope y'all took something away from it. As always, please let us know down in the comments below what you would like to see next. Again, my name is Adrian Barron, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Say peace, Lex.
Peace. Mic drop.
What do you do with your hands?
Be awkward.
Just raise them up. And then like, yeah, and as I keep going, just keep raising them up. That's what you do with your hands. Show me your That's funny. Run with that one.